What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. By the way, TigerFitness.com, coupon code MAHA, M-A-H-A, MAHA, gets you 10% off the entire site. We are stocking things. We are rocking things. We are back, baby. So I've been notoriously famous for saying that if you had to choose one or the other, which you don't, nobody does. Some days you might, but all of us can do both. There's not one. If I can do it with my travel schedule, I've been gone every week for the past 9 weeks, 3-4 days a week. Everybody can do cardio. And cardio doesn't have to be walking on a treadmill, doing a step mill. No, go for a walk outside. If you're in the city, I was in New York City last week. I was walking the whole entire city, 15, 20,000 steps a day, going to appointment to appointment. That's what we do. So cardio doesn't have to be miserable, slaving over a step mill or a treadmill or elliptical or exercise. But no, you can get outside, go for a walk, get some vitamin D, get some sunlight. They did a study on this. Cardio versus weights versus cardio and weights, and they did it right. It was an 8-month randomized controlled study. 119 overweight or obese adults, which is most Americans. Based on 2017 data, and we've gotten fatter since then, over 40% of Americans are obese and over 70% are overweight. So we need to get rid of this this fat epidemic. We are fat. America is too damn fat. The world is too damn fat. So let's get this data to help people out, right? We all want to help people out. I want to help people out. Well, let's help them out. So the design, you had the participants randomized into an aerobic only group. This will be AT. That is aerobic only. Resistance training only. That is RT. Or AT/RT, which is aerobic or cardio, and resistance or lifting. So let's get straight to the findings. Then I'll give you my opinion on how to apply this data. So AT or aerobic alone led to significantly greater losses in total body weight and fat mass compared to RT alone. That's resistance training. The combined AT/RT, or the guys or gals who did both cardio and weights, did not yield more fat or weight loss than cardio alone, despite requiring approximately double the exercise time. So this kind of leads us to believe that when you do cardio, you're pretty much exhausting your fat loss potential. So here's another thing. Resistance training alone did not significantly reduce body fat or body weight, though it did increase lean body mass. That's the thing, muscle gain significantly over the cardio-only group. So if you're looking for fat and body weight reduction, aerobic or cardio outperform resistance training. In fact, it beat the living hell out of it. Combining both did not improve weight or fat loss beyond cardio alone when time spent was matched. So why do we care? Why are we even reading this study? Well, there's very few high quality randomized controlled trials that directly compared equal dose cardio versus lifting in overweight or obese adults. This adds clarity to a question that I get asked all the time, but it doesn't change my answer. I'll get into that soon. Cardio is more effective than weights alone for reducing body or fat weight, while weights are best for building muscle. Yeah, there you go. But it also supports the notion that synergy is found in combining both cardio for weight loss and resistance and strength training for lean mass. But if your sole goal, your only goal, let's say you're morbidly obese, is slimming down in minimal time, cardio wins. So what have I been recommending? I'm pretty simple. So I've coached thousands of athletes. Most of those have been, in full disclosure, in the form of students or youth athletes in schools, where I can have 3 teams at a time with 70 kids on it. So you stack up numbers really quick that way, right? But I've trained hundreds of adults, probably over 1,000. I can't count. I'm 44. I've been doing this since I was 17 years old. So I've trained a lot of people. And a lot of those people, very few, I'd say less than 5% were competitive bodybuilders. Yet probably over 10% were morbidly obese. I'm talking not quite my 600-pound life, but I'm talking a sloppy 300 plus. What do I do when I first start coaching those people? Well, number one is lifestyle changes. So if I'm coaching someone morbidly obese, we're going to tell them to hydrate. We're going to tell them to cut out junk food as best they can. We're going to tell them to go on, if they can, an evening walk. Some of these people can't walk very easily. They can't walk. Like, they're that big. So you walk as far as you can. If it's 5 minutes, then maybe the next week you do 6, then 7. If you have access to a swimming pool, walking in a swimming pool, very good considering their joints are usually trashed. Swimming, if they can, well, they're very buoyant. Sorry for the humor. Yeah, swimming's not bad either. But generally speaking, riding a stationary bike, evening walks are usually great. A lot of these people have dogs. A lot of people have dogs. I have 2 beautiful golden doodles. You actually see Blaze over there. Ruckus is next to him, but Blaze is the distinguished one in the hat. Go for a walk, whatever. Hydrate, right? And then we put them on some specific supplements like I do. And I've been doing this since it came out. I know there's retatrutide now, which is a great peptide. I think retatrutide takes a lot of the issues of Ozempic out of the picture. Although it can't be prescribed now, it's research chemical. You have to buy from one of those sites. I have a buddy at peptidepro.io, coupon code Lobliner. He's great. I trust it. They put lab tests up on every batch. Good friend of mine. Again, I'm not getting paid for it, but there's a coupon code if you want to save money and try it, or any other peptide. Don't care. Don't do it. If you don't want to, don't care. There's a product that I do actually make money on, that I do give to people. So full disclosure, it's called Ambrosia No Morbidity and Ambrosia Alchemy. And the good thing about those is No Morbidity does have a lot of appetite suppressing effects as a GLP-1, but it's natural with, no side effects I've seen in thousands of people taking it. Alchemy is a blood glucose disposal agent, whatever you want to call it. That really helps. So that's what I do. I get them on those things. That usually helps their appetite just enough. Get them walking, drinking more water, staying away from junk food. Right there, if you're morbid, you'll lose 50 to 100 pounds just doing that, depending how fat you are, right? Then you get into the intricacies of macros and weight training. So then you bring on resistance training. And so here's why the study doesn't change my approach. Even the authors of the study acknowledge that, hey, if you want to build muscle and burn fat, we don't just want to be one saggy bag of bones, do we? Then you kind of need both. You do need both. Also, if you followed on the research, strength is as much of a predictor of morbidity or your chance of not being alive as cardio. So they measure this via grip strength. So essentially, the more muscle, up to a point, obviously I'm not telling old people to just jack themselves full of steroids. The more muscle and strength you have as you get older, the less likely you will pass away. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Sarcopenia. A lot of old people, they pass away due to falls. So if you lack muscle, you lack balance, your chance of falling, and once you fall, I forgot the exact number, it's like you're most likely to pass away when you're old in like 90 days. It's crazy. So strength is definitely a component. So Chris Aceto, I believe it was in the 90s or early 2000s. I remember he had a shirt and it said the word, but it said F cardio, and they were walking around the Arnold with it. So a lot of these coaches aren't all about cardio for fat loss. Now, this study also isn't taking into account losing weight through diet. So there's other studies, and I'll go over a couple other supporting evidence for this study. There's other studies that show that when you lose weight, caloric intake is the most important variable, but keeping weight off, cardio is actually just as important. So yes, up to a point, you can out-train a bad diet. That's what we found. That's at least my interpretation of the data. And again, there's hundreds of papers. So interpretation is open. So I use a little bit of my experience, a little bit of my common sense to extrapolate my interpretation of the data. Lane Norton might have a different interpretation. Jeff Nippard, Mike Israetel, any of these guys, Stan Efferding, they might have a different interpretation, but that's my interpretation. So there's another study that was done. It was a systematic review. It was a meta-analysis in 2010 to 2019, found that when matched for energy expenditure, aerobic or HIIT exercise, HIIT training, sprinting, and resistance yielded similar weight fat loss, but resistance helped preserve lean mass, whereas aerobic did not. Something to look at. A classic Duke study also showed a greater fat and weight loss with cardio versus resistance when combined workouts give them the best balance, fat loss and lean mass gains. So here's the deal. Who cares? I like when these trainers do, look at this awesome fat loss workout. Dude, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Here's what you do. If you're trying to gain weight, you eat in a caloric surplus. If you're trying to lose weight, you eat in a caloric deficit. To increase that caloric deficit alongside resistance training to keep or gain muscle, you add in cardio as stick points are hit. I always like to, and I believe Doug Miller also had this philosophy. So when you start a diet, do as little cardio as possible and eat as much carbs as possible. Why? That gives you more opportunity to actually make changes. So if I start at my maximum deficit, I start at 1,200 calories and I'm doing an hour of cardio, once I hit a stick point, I got nowhere to go. But if I can lose 1 to 2 pounds a week, rocking out, 300 grams of carbs and doing 20 minutes of cardio, I'm going to keep that as much as possible. Hit a stick point, lower the carbs to 280, raise my cardio to 25 minutes. It's a pretty simple variable that people make complicated. But this study just backs up what I've been saying all along. Weight training should be static all year long. You should lift like you're trying to gain, whether you're dieting or whether you're bulking. When you start to lose fat, that's when you increase the cardio. I'm also one of those cardio year-round guys. All of my clients for coaching throughout my years, they've always done at least 30 minutes a day, meaning that in the off season, we're aiming for 30 minutes. That doesn't mean 30 minutes on the treadmill. That can mean an afternoon walk. That can mean a walk in the morning before breakfast. That can mean taking your kids to the bus stop. We want to be active. Also realize every time you're walking, it activates your brain, your neurons light up. It activates a whole bunch of things, helps deliver nutrients to your body. Oh, and it also helps you stay healthy and not die. So that's what I got for you guys. So hopefully this helped you out a little bit. Hopefully this video kind of clarified a lot of things. And this study is pretty cool. And it's backed up by a lot of other studies. So regardless of the study, it stands. You should weight train and do cardio, regardless of what time of the year. But if you're trying to lose fat, bump the cardio up a little bit because, well, science says so. And of course, trust the science. Anyway, guys, be sure to follow me on all other platforms, Instagram, X, at Marc Lobliner. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, do that. And of course, tigerfitness.com. Please shop there. Coupon code MAHA, M-A-H-A, MAHA, gets you 10% off the entire site. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm Marc Lobliner, and of course, that's not a game.